Okay, the plot thickens. Our Le Mans Supercar inspired Volkswagen Beetle. That's right, we're staying the course. Decided yesterday that this blue stripe coming from my head was the appropriate course of action. The thing today is to figure out how to make it look like it belongs. When I say blue stripe, I mean a center divider in the hood. That's right. This part here is looking too flat, and then this center rib is going to come, because these are negative spaces, you can see. So we're going to try to make it look like it's got a center divider that's three-dimensional, out of steel. Make it convincing. So I stared at this for a little while. Yesterday I had this center divider coming right through this, but I think I like the big oval because it's just, you know what I'm saying? Nothing split, but I think this gives it a very aggressive appearance. What I accomplished yesterday was just putting these two steel rods through here, and I got a couple other weird ideas also. That's not to be addressed just yet. One of the things I was having a little trouble with was this. I was looking at this, and it seems like it kind of does the waterfall, very Art Deco. I think it's okay, but I want to minimize that. So instead of having this rib come all the way through here, I'm going to cut these off and drop them right to there. So this will be a flat panel straight across. So what you would have is that blue stripe crossing over, but the Beetle never had that. It's split right here. That's why it's called a work in progress. Because we are making progress every day, are we not? We meaning our community. If it wasn't for you guys, I would not be broadcasting all this nonsense. Let's just get to the fact of the matter here. I'll be sitting here all alone, probably making something with nobody's guidance at all. Who knows what could come out of this workshop. Thankfully, we're all honing it in together. Still got our center line, and I don't think the gas is on. Oh, it's on. Sounds good. Okay, thanks. I'll see you next time. Maybe we put a fake ending in there. You know, really mix it up. Okay, so let's take off the paint. See what's happening here. And I do want to say that one person in the viewing audience said this idea yesterday without even knowing that's where I was going. Like, I had this set up. He didn't even see it. He said, "What about?" I said, "Great minds." So if you ever find yourself in a predicament where you can't reach in with the sanding disc, Sawzall blade could be your friend. Just stick the blade as such. That's obvious enough to get an arc from the welder down in there, and once it's heated up, we'll have to wire brush all that business off. Okay, so let's guesstimate a piece of sheet metal on here. Again, we're gonna fill this up too. It's gonna be double walled, I don't mind. This hood will open in stock form. The hinge points are not modified, so these little tabs will get cut out, and this will open. Somebody was asking about the fuel tank and access, so it's kind of the thing I was getting to with this also, the ability to open it up. That's why these gaps are showing in here. Got these scraps laying all over the place. Just going to do an estimation of how long I could make this. I think probably there to there. Do a quick cut there. And then, how wide is this? From the 1, it's a 1 1/4. I'm going to cut this off with the shear, BRB. So I was saying, this little waterfall detail where it kind of pinches down, I'm going to try to minimize that by running this strip up here and just tacking the difference so that this fades out. Sort of a, fades out scenario. Fade to black, if you will, however you want to call it. Challenge is going to be these two corners and these inside corners, so stick with it. Stay tuned. I think I got a pretty good idea to solve that. Yeah, I feel like this gives it a very aggressive air duct looking situation. So I don't really mean to turn this in because I don't want it looking like that typical VW jelly bean thing. I think this is just going to go straight in like such. Yeah, just like that, in fact. I just want to put a little curve on this. Oh, won't that make it the handiest of marker storage space? We're gonna make this duct come through here. Let's see if this works for both sides. Which sure doesn't. Ooh, looky there. That's what we're talking about. Okay, I like that. I like that just fine. Make one of these for this side. All right, we're getting a little hot. Seems like it might get ready to warp. I'm gonna grind it a bit as it cools down. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this, but I'm not feeling good about this. So I had a thought. You know, we had these curved shapes there. Why don't we just cut this up? We'll make a new center, because obviously it's wider. Let's just use these two corners. They're already stamped. So I'm going to detach this flange, cut it in here, both sides. Let's see what we got to work with. There doesn't really need to be double thickness here, but because it is hand fabricated and not stamped, I feel like that'll offer a lot of strength. You know, it's not very heavy, but it'll offer a ton of strength. Huh. Don't ya know? Looky there. Heck to the yes. Could not have planned for that. Just saying. You don't know till you know. Well, that just makes me chuckle. Interesting. A little low here. I'm going to pull that up after we get this attached. It's going to take the paint right off of this. Actually, why don't we trim that one to fit, and then we'll take the paint off both. Getting down to the last of the cutting discs, and this is a perfect opportunity, you know, to use them up. Don't throw them away. They're perfect for this type of arrangement. I'm stoked. How are you feeling about this? Like, I think we're getting somewhere. As they say, the darkest hour is just before the light. Yeah, that's it. That's the ticket. Where I was going with my statement about these double panels here, if you've ever tried to, you know, modify one of these body parts that has the potential to be slammed shut, a little extra strength ain't gonna hurt in the long run. There will be filler. Sometime in its future, the hood will get slammed shut. You know what? Probably when it won't start, I'll get really frustrated and slam the hood shut. But we could save that story for another day. Why won't it start? Because that's the way all cars are, right? It's always frustration. Yeah, it's interesting. I really like how this fills it out. Yeah, so what I was saying is I want to puff this up a little bit. So, just lock this bottom in. how do we bring this up? I think I could pry this. Did I already attach it? Oh, no, there it goes. Awesome. Now I can dress this back in. After I weld this. It's a little low too, but I'm going to doctor that later. Just want to get on with this part. Let's slap this piece into submission. Okay, we are starting to look like something now, and I had this little piece of metal left over. Look at that. It's amazing. Sometimes things just work out. How was that for a goofy laugh? It's the sound of absolute enthusiasm. Let's just go from say there to here. That is actually the sound that my wife fell in love with. Yes, yes. She, as the editor, can handle this any way she likes, but we all know it is the cartoon guffaw that will truly romance anyone. Okay, let me cut that. Grind that a little bit. And don't start with your rust-proofing comments. I can hear them lining up already. I'm going to do whatever it takes on that inner panel. I don't want to hear about it right now. Still in the creative zone here. Not get caught up in the minutia of details. As they say, knock on wood, or I mean, perseverance furthers. That's the one. Perseverance furthers. Bada bing. I love this. I can work with this. It's hook up the smaller welder with the thinner wire and weld this for like a day. And I figure out how we're going to flesh this out. I'm thinking maybe foam and then fiberglass. Maybe. I guess how we'll wrap it up for today is metal. Success. We kind of did a rapid fire presentation this week. It's Sunday now, and I want to get home and hang out. Weather's good. The thing is, with these short repeating videos, day after day, we got a lot done, and it really held the inspiration, I think. Times car building can seem mundane, and we're not going to try to put that on you. Trying to enjoy ourselves. So thanks for being here. I think next week we're going to have some really interesting stuff. 1, 2, maybe take 2 days off. I don't know. Maybe I'll come back tomorrow. Either way, this bug's coming right along. Stay tuned.